Do you want to get some of the best drops in World of Warcraft? Well, simulation craft is one of your best ways of doing this, and let's help you through to make you better understand what the hell a simulation is.
Quickly before we start, I want to shout out my Twitch stream where we go live every Sunday, Tuesday and Wednesday from 7:30 to 11 PM UK playing WoW, answering all your Fury Warrior questions. And if you want to further support us, then please do consider giving this video a like, subscribing to the channel and turning on your notifications. Anyway, on with the video.
So good afternoon, good evening, good morning champions, and welcome back to another video. And this week we are talking about simulation craft and simming and what simming is. I'm going to get straight into it. Simming is effectively a way of pretending your character is doing something so you can see the best options available for you. Through this simming idea and through these simulations, what you can get is you can get an idea of what your ideal DPS is like, what your ideal weapon and armor drops are, as well as kind of what your best talents could be, even down to soul binds and legendaries. It's a really simple process and generally speaking really easy to do. And once you kind of understand the intricacies of how to use the software, you'll be off the bat running, getting some of that top gear and making sure that you're putting out that best DPS. So there's a few ways of doing this. However, I recommend mainly using Raidbots.com. It's one of the best ones. It's a cloud-based service. You haven't got to download any software on your computer. You only need one add-on for World of Warcraft. It's a really easy thing to use and it's broken down in quite a nice way. And there's multiple options that you're allowed to use on here that ensure you can do the most testing possible. Raidbots is a free-to-use website. It has quite a long queue if you're not paying, but if you do pay, you just basically jump the queue. Other than that, you've got about, at peak time, I'd say about 600 people in the queue that you've got to wait. But if you're playing World of Warcraft or you're playing another game, or if you're even at work, you can have these running in the background to ensure that you're not kind of wasting time just sitting there looking at them. What we're going to do today is I'm going to show you some of the best options to use on here to ensure that you're going to be getting the knowledge that you need to kind of apply this to your own character. So what we're going to do is jump over to the computer. The only two things you're going to need on your computer system, basically add-ons in World of Warcraft, are simulation craft and pawn if you want to use the string that it gives you to ensure you're getting the best gear. But we'll jump over to the computer now and I'll explain that further. So once you're on your PC, I'd recommend first of all going to your CurseForge app and typing in simulation craft and downloading this first one just here. This is what you need to basically pull the data off your character and put it into the right places. Secondly, I'd also recommend downloading pawn. You get this first one just here. This one helps you kind of see the percentages of what weapons will be better by using the string that you'll get through using Raidbots, but these are the first two add-ons that you'll need. So once you're in World of Warcraft, you'll have the two things. If you do /pawn in chat, you'll see that and it will have all of the stats for literally every single character. However, we're going to make our own custom one later. And if you do /simc, you'll get the simulation craft add-on. Now, all of this information isn't necessarily meaningful for you guys, but all you've got to do is basically Control-C, copy that over, and this is the information that we're going to input into Raidbots to get all the information that we need. So this is raidbots.com. It's like I said, it's a cloud-based simulation craft. So it's basically there's a software that you can download onto your computer called Simulation Craft. This is the cloud-based version of that. Makes it a lot easier, it makes it less painful on your computer to run, and there's a lot of options you can see. So you have things such as top gear, droptimizer, gear compare, talent compare, quick sim, stat weights, and advanced. And we'll go over basically how each of these work. And we're going to start off the bat with a quick sim. This is the one that most people use. For this one, you could either load from the armory. However, this will only input the last logged off data. However, because we have the SimC add-on, what we're going to do is go to the load from SimC and we're going to paste that in there. That will load our character and all their data, all the information, all the conduits are here, all of our talents are here, all of our weapons are here. Now this bit, the simulation options, is the most important part because this will depict whether or not you're basically doing the right thing. What simulation options are basically the scenario you're putting your character into. So if you click on the first fight style thing, you've got a whole list of different things. So you've got patchwork, dungeon slice, target dummy, execute, hectic, light movement, heavy movement, and so on. These all simulate different scenarios in World of Warcraft. The best one to go for is patchwork because it's basically tank and spank. That's all it is. What a lot of people are doing as well, if they want to check their cleaving, they're changing the 1 boss to 5 bosses. However, we're just going to do a single target fight here. We're going to run it for a 5-minute and we're going to be using the nightly build. The nightly build basically is every single night. Theory crafters are updating the software, are updating the information, and that version will give you the most up-to-date scenario. Up next, so I'm a Fury Warrior, so it gives you the weapon oils that would be most specific to your class. So as a Fury Warrior, we have things such as 20 attack power Shadow Core oil. So I'm going to pop the attack power on both of my things. If you have either of these, just pop them on there. The same with dungeon trinkets. If you have them, pop them on there. If you go to more options, you can basically look at your consumables as well. So you can look at your potion. For example, I'm going to be doing this fight as a strength one. I'm going to be having my usual food, which is a gluttonous.
My flask is going to be a flask of power, and I'm going to use the default augmentation rune. You can also adjust your raid buffs, so you can say that if you've got a bloodlust, arcane intellect, battle shout, and so on and so forth. Do it for the scenario that you know you're going to have. So if you know that your raid has got arcane or power word or wind fury totems, keep them on there. Other than that, you're good to go. You click run sim and you can see the amount of DPS that you should be putting out. As I said, as it's free, you have to wait in a queue. However, if you pay premium, there's no wait time. But I don't have a premium, I use a wait time, so we'll skip ahead. And there you have the sim. This is what we'll give you. Basically, it'll give you a breakdown of the damage that you're doing and what abilities are doing how much damage. It will also tell you your buff up time, so kind of like the specific buffs that you have, such as Enrage and Thrill Seeker. And then also it will kind of give you an overview of the rotation that was used during this fight. So your really basic kind of rotation that you guys would know, especially as a Fury Warrior. This also enables you to have a full HTML report. So if you click on this, it will open up basically Simulation Craft, and you can get a complete breakdown of the spikes, the really specific parts of the data. I don't really know this all that well because the numbers are a bit intimidating to me, so I usually just use the other one. But then this kind of helps you kind of have a look at your character. Are you doing the same as this? When you do a fight, can you compare your breakdown damage? Does it look the same as this? Do you have the same count that they have on here? Is your damage kind of in a similar position as this is? However, this is the most basic thing you can do, so let's go delve further into how you can use Raidbots. So if we go back to the home page, the number one best thing to use is Top Gear. And in Top Gear, you can basically find out the top combinations of things in your bag and things in your vault. So if you want to test your vault, what you would do is you would go to your vault, you would open your vault, and you would run the SimC with your vault open. I currently don't have anything in my vault, so I can't actually show you. However, we're going to do a standard one. So remember, pop your SimC code into this section here, and it will load you in. And basically what it will let you do is it will show you here what you have equipped in gold, and then underneath it will show you the other items that you have in your bag that you can compare it to. So for example, if I wanted to compare these two heads, I would click on that and it would add it to the iteration, as you can see down here, and it will compare these two items. If I wanted to compare these two next, which is what we will do because I can't remember which one's best, the same as, where should we go? Let's compare these two rings. We're going to add that in as well. So as you click them, this will basically help you compare it. What you'll see as well, if you have anything in your vault, there'll be like a little blue thing in the corner here to depict it's in the vault. You can click that, and basically anything you click will be compared with the one that you have equipped. If you scroll down further as well, you have enchantments. So from here you can pick the enchantments that you're supposed to have. So for example, on my main hand we're going to put a Celestial Guidance. On my offhand we're going to put a Sinful Elevation. Chest, I'm going to put Eternal Stats, Eternal Strength, increase my haste on that one. And if I could have a gem, I don't think I want anything gemmed, we're going to add a haste gem. So I'm going to add all of those to my items that I have. Next up, you have soul binds. In here, this is where you can do a little bit of theory crafting if you really wanted to. If you click unlock all soul binds and unlock all conduits, what you could effectively do is choose any conduit and any soul bind and look at the combination. So if I wanted to test out what, for example, Nia would be able to do, I could do a full build for Nia and run that. But we're going to leave that for here for now. Next up, you've got your talents here. What you could do is you could add a new talent to the certain row. So you could basically add another iteration where you can compare all your talents. But for now, we're going to keep it as my current build. Actually, no, let's change it. Let's do a sudden death. Frenzy is kind of becoming a thing at the moment with a siege breaker build. So we've got a combination of builds, talent builds here. And as you can see, we've got 2,500, 22,000, whatever that number is. I'm not good at maths. And then again, simulation down here, you choose fight style, number of bosses, fight length, what you have weapon wise with the weapon oils, trinkets, potions, and so on and so forth. And then all you need to do is click find Top Gear and it will help you through it. So once it is finished, you'll be greeted with this page. You'll possibly see a number that might be higher than what you currently have. And I'll break that down for you and kind of help you interpret what you see here. On the most basic level, all you need to do here is look for everything that has a square around it. So for example, on my one, it just says that I could be doing 5.4k. Previously, it was listed as 5.2k. Let's see why. So as I can see here, it's changed my first talent to sudden death. It's changed this to ensure that I have eternal strength on. And here it's told me to put celestial guidance on. So it basically squares off the things it's changed. When you're greeted with this, basically look for anything that has been put a square around it, and you know that is what you need to add to your character to ensure that you're doing somewhat closer to that DPS that is kind of put in the sim for you there. And that's pretty much it. That is how you see your Top Gear. The same thing would happen if you changed your... But that is how you interpret your Top Gear. Like I said, because you've compared things from your bag, from your vault, it will put everything in here and it will show you the best option in a optimal fight. Some of the other things on here include kind of gear compare and talent compare. First of all, I'm going to show you gear compare. In here, again, we're going to load my character from the SimC, from the copy paste. What you can basically do is make a complete gear set with your optimal gear that you would love to have. So I want to see what my character would do if I had 2 rhyme binders rune blades. So in this gear set is going to be weapon. You just type it in there and then basically you just search for the weapon. So rhyme binder. I'm going to click on that, put it in there. I'm going to choose the enchant to be celestial guidance. And then we're going to up the item level so it's the exact same as that one. So we're going to go 220. And we're going to put it in our offhand. There we go. So now we've got them 2 equipped. I'm going to add the item and you could basically add another item. So if I then wanted to compare, I don't know, what a different head would look like, I could basically type that in there, choose the item level, choose the enchant or whatever it is and where it goes. Then the rest of it are the exact same. But the first time that you change your patchwork settings down here, it will save them. So then all we need to do is click compare items. It will run another log. As you can see, it runs another one of these. And basically it will just compare those 2 items of gear. This means what you can do is help yourself know what to target. So we're going to go into the Droptimizer in a second now and I'll show you how the Droptimizer works. But this helps you kind of sim specific gear that isn't in your bag or isn't in your vault. So you could sim literally any item in the game through this and kind of fine tune the stats to ensure that you're kind of testing it against the right things. So our gear compare is finished and here you can see the overall DPS is upped and the weapon here is classed as a plus 23. So it's ideal to have this because it's going to give you additional, I think it's additional 23 DPS. Yeah, if you do the basic maths there, it's an additional 23 DPS that's going to push you higher, and that's how you compare specific gear of gear that you don't have in your bags or in the vault. So in Droptimizer, again, we're going to pop our character name in here, and as you can see down here, it has a load of options. If you have the premium version, you can basically run everything here, but we don't, and then if you don't as well, then this doesn't apply to you. But basically what we could do is we can go into dungeons. We can say that we're going to run Plaguefall this evening and we're going to run Plaguefall at a 13. Once you've chosen that, you run the Droptimizer and we'll show you what it does. So in the Droptimizer, this one is finished as well. As you can see here, it's kind of showing a lot of information. This shows you your current gear and then this shows you the ideal gear that you would be able to get from this dungeon. So this helps you kind of target dungeons at a certain key level to help you kind of get that drop to ensure you're getting the most DPS. So for this Mythic 13 Plaguefall, it is saying that if we get this one, we're going to get plus 10 to our overall DPS, and it's going to have an overall increase to what the damage we're putting out of. So if I want to run Plaguefall 13, I should run it as much as I can and try and target a vial of purification. I think that's how you say it. It looks like it says purification, but weird. So you can run this basically for each of the dungeons and for each of the raids at all the different difficulties, and this will help you know what you should be targeting. It helps you with that kind of best in slot idea. It also helps you know what's going to be the best upgrade for you currently if you were to go and farm that right now. And then lastly, we have the pawn string, and basically what this is a really simplified version of everything on the website put into your game. So if I paste the code into here, what it's going to do is, again, using the exact same patchwork setting fights that we have here with one boss, 5 minutes, all of these details, we're going to generate a stat weight. This stat weight I'll break down as well once this is finished, and it will help you optimize the gear that you kind of get on the minute. When using stat weights, I would recommend you do this every single time you change your gear. So if you get a new item and you put it on, redo your pawn. Every single drop, redo it. Every time you've equipped something, redo the pawn string, because it's going to constantly be changing to ensure, you want to basically ensure that you're putting out the best damage as possible by having the most up-to-date pawn string. And the stat weights are done. So here I'm going to break down basically what these numbers mean. In short, each of these are the weight in which they attribute to your overall DPS. So for example, my offhand DPS attributes to 5, my main weapon DPS attributes for 11%, and then all of these kind of secondary stats attribute to roughly around 1.2 to 1.4% of my overall DPS, as well as strength being 2.8. This string down here is what you're going to add into the pawn add-on. So you'd copy that to your clipboard, add that into the add-on, and it would add a percentage marker on each of your items. We're going to load up World of Warcraft now, and I can show you what it looks like in game. Okay, so once we're in, we're going to do /pawn in chat with a W. We're going to click on scale, and we're going to click import, and you're basically just going to paste that into there. Now, when you go to your bag, what you'll see is a few things will have kind of up arrows. If you have none, then that means you've got all the best stuff. But as you can see here, this tells me that this cape would be a 6% upgrade because of the stat weights, and those stat weights equate to, for example, my increase in strength, my increase in mastery. That would overall put me out more damage. So then you would know what to equip. Like I said, to use this optimally, you would want to be doing a new pawn string every single time you equipped a new item to ensure that it's the best of the best. And then basically, just to summarize, that is Raidbots, and that is how we use it. Top Gear is there used to ensure that you can compare what's in your bags and what's in your vault. as well as comparing soulbind builds and talent builds all in one go. Droptimizer will help you choose the items that you want to target from specific dungeons or raids at specific difficulties. Gear compare allows you to compare gear that is not in your bag or vault, so you can find a random piece of gear in the game and compare it with your current setup. Talent compare is basically just being able to compare your talent builds, which you can actually do in Top Gear, so it doesn't really need to be used. Quick Sim gives you that brief overview of what your DPS and your rotation should be, and it helps you kind of have a mark to aim for as far as your DPS is concerned. And then Stat Weights helps you kind of form that string that you need to use to help you understand the percentage increase on the items that you get when they're dropping in game, as well as understand how much strength and weapons and mastery, for example, weigh in to your overall increase in DPS. And that is Raidbots. I hope this has been useful. We're going to jump back over there now and wrap this up.
So I hope you guys found that useful. It's a really good tool, and I know there's a lot of discussion about this. I know Blue Gaming put out something about Simulation Craft the other day, about how the game has just become about simming your character and making sure you've got the best stats. This is there to kind of give you a guide. It kind of helps you know what to pick. Yes, you don't need to, there's no reason to use this. You do not have to use this software at all. If you know how to read your stats, if you just kind of want to relax and take it casual, of course you can. No one's forcing you to use something like SimCraft. It does take out a lot of the thinking that you need to do, and it does help you optimize in that way. So that's why it's quite a good thing to have, and it does kind of become world of spreadsheets and numbers, doesn't it? But in the long run, if you're kind of pushing that in-game content, it just helps you have that little extra edge to ensure that you're doing the right things and getting the right drops and equipping the right items at the end of the day. But if you have found that useful, make sure you give a like, comment and subscribe to the channel. It helps me know that you've enjoyed this and you find it useful. If you also chuck in the comments as well if you have any issues with SimCraft, and I'll help you out and give you kind of my experiences with it down there as well and guide you through it to ensure that you're doing the right things. As always, we go live on Twitch and on YouTube on different days of the week. Sunday, Tuesday, we go live on Twitch, and on Wednesdays, we do viewer interaction over here on YouTube. Above me are the name of all the supporters. Thank you to all the patrons on Twitch who are supporting the channel. If you want to see your name up there, then you know where to go. I just want to say a massive thank you as well to just all the support I've been shown. I've been able to apply for partnership on YouTube, which has been massive. Never thought I'd get there, so thank you guys all so much for kind of the interaction that you've had with me. Other than that though, thank you all very much, and I'll see you next week. Bye bye.